Blog Talk Radio.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes. We should take nothing for granted. Only an alert and knowledgeable citizenry can compel the proper meshing of the huge industrial and military machinery of defense with our peaceful methods and goals, so that security and liberty may prosper together.
The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighed the dangers which are cited to justify it. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that an announced need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its meaning to the very limits of official censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent that it's in my control.
All right, everybody, Joseph Gibson, podcasting worldwide here, internet, blog, talk, radio. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, all those famous networks out there. Podcasting live, 100% live. The phone number is 657-383-0616. Press the number 1 if you want to talk here tonight. It's a live show. Everyone gets a chance here to speak, talk about what's on their mind. We did this on Friday night. We don't have any scheduled guests here tonight. Sometimes we do bring guests on. We've been podcasting since 2013 throughout the history of this show, and I have a lot of successful podcasts. Sometimes we call people live, put them on the spot. Sometimes we just allow people to talk like we do tonight. So we will be live 100% here in about 2 minutes, 26 seconds, and if you want to make your voice heard, we're here to understand the times in which we live in today, and everyone gets a voice, unscreened, uncensored. I do not edit people. I do not screen callers. You get your voice heard. All you have to do is press the number 1 after you call in, 657-383-0616. So we'll be live in about 2 minutes.
All you ever hear about in this country is our differences. That's all the media and the politicians are ever talking about, the things that separate us, things that make us different from one another. That's the way the ruling class operates in any society. They try to divide the rest of the people. They keep the lower and the middle classes fighting with each other so that they, the rich, can run off with all the fucking money. Fairly simple thing, happens to work. You know anything different, that's what they're going to talk about. Race, religion, ethnic and national background, jobs, income, education, social status, sexuality, anything you can do, keep us fighting with each other so that they can keep going to the bank. You know how I describe the economic and social classes in this country? The upper class keeps all of the money, pays none of the taxes. The middle class pays all of the taxes, does all of the work. The poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. Keep them showing up at those jobs.
They're all the same. I'll show you politics in America. Here it is, right here. I think the puppet on the right shares my beliefs. I think the puppet on the left is more to my liking. Hey, wait a minute. There's one guy holding up both puppets. Shut up. Go back to bed, America. Your government is in control.
I had this feeling, man, because you know there's a handful of people actually run everything. That's true. It's provable. I'm not a conspiracy nut. It's provable. Handful, very small elite run and own these corporations, which include the mainstream media. I had this feeling who's ever elected president, like Clinton was, no matter what the promises you promise on the campaign trail, blah, 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 when you win, You go into this smoky room with the 12 industrialist, capitalist scumfucks who got you in there, and you're in this smoky room, and this little film screen comes down, and a big guy in a cigar rolled the film. And it's a shot of the Kennedy assassination from an angle you've never seen before. It looks suspiciously off the grassy knoll. And then the screen goes up, and the lights come up, and they go to the new president. Any questions? Just what my agenda is. First we bomb Baghdad. You got it.
Okay, everybody, Joseph Gibson, podcasting live from Greensboro, North Carolina here tonight. And did everyone enjoy their football tonight? Or this afternoon, whatever it may be. It's amazing how we can get 60, 75,000 people all in one stadium all across the country cheering, rooting for one side against another, like we all should root for the same team. Although, because I hate you because you root for the Buffalo Bills. I don't like you because you root for the Carolina Panthers. Meanwhile, the referees, they control the whole game, And it's all rigged. Just like politics, it's all rigged. It's one big fat game. But that's what we're here to do on this show, is to understand the times which we live in today. And if any of you are paying attention or listened to the last show that we did on Friday night, you would know that we had a lot of people call in who have a lot of different ideas and challenges to try to abolish the current system we have. But when you demand answers or you try to ask questions, people become offended because they have no real solution. The only solution is that we build off the current foundation we have here today. And a lot of people who know me, who've been listening to this podcast for many years, recently in the past 6 months, I've been contemplating the decision to run for, in my little district here in North Carolina, state senate. And the state senator, to get my name on the ballot here as state senator in North Carolina. And the platform would be to restore our republic. And I've been trying to challenge individuals out there in my community to come along with me and join along. Now, we all know it takes Federal Reserve notes to put any type of campaign together. No, I'm not asking for any of your money here tonight. No. However, the fact of the matter is I am asking for volunteers who would help me. I'll pay the filing fee, which is $90. I met with the County State Election Board about a month ago to see the process to get my name lawfully put on the ballot here in our district here in North Carolina. And like I said, my platform would be to run as restoring our republic, restore America, restore America plan. And how do you intend on restoring America? What is your ideas out there? I want to hear from you here tonight. What do you think we should do? Do you have a plan? Do you have any type of gathering together as a people, your next door neighbors, your community? How do you intend on restoring our republic here in America? What do you think should be changed? What should we abolish? What should we do to work together? One person just typed in the chat room here tonight, and if you're not in the chat room, it's a free chat room. You could log in anonymously. One person puts term limits in there, term limits. And I do agree with that in a way, that, when you're selected or to become a public official there, and, let me start off like this. Look, if you're elected as a representative of the people, you make promises throughout your campaign trail. You make promises to do things to help your community, to betterment your current situation in your district. And as a local state senator, that is. Now, if you're a federal, like a congressman, or if you're running for a federal office, the rules change. And you got to remember the different branches of government here and how things work. You have to understand that. But what you really want to do is you need to start locally. If you're trying to change things in your area, in your community, whether it be through nationalism or globalism, you have to start first with your next door neighbors. You have to start through your own individual bubble that you live in, and then reach out and try to help people that way. And I know I may be rambling on here, and people are saying, what are you talking about? Well, to change things in the current situation you're in, what do you have to do? You have to reach out within your own household, within your own family, and try to change things within that scope of an avenue where you then can reach out to your next-door neighbors, and then your neighbors can reach out to your community, and then your community could reach out to other areas in your district. And that's what I'm trying to do here in my area here in North Carolina. There's a lot that has to be changed. And I don't know where you're calling in from tonight. I don't know who's listening, actually. I see a bunch of people on the call screen that are listening all throughout the country, and I see some international callers that may not be able to get through. I've seen that lately, actually, a lot of international callers. And they've emailed me and said, hey, I can't get through. Well, Blog Talk Radio, you have to look at the rules of Blog Talk Radio. Blog Talk Radio is a small internet platform podcasting network that you can listen to through social media, and it actually does podcast on an FM station on the West Coast in California. But what I'm trying to say is that there are regulations and everything that grips us and holds us within our own naive bubble that we have to understand that these rules and regulations need to be uplifted. We need to, let me change the subject here a little bit. Let's look at Facebook, for instance. If you go back and look what Facebook was all about years ago, go back when you first started, if you joined Facebook recently or if you joined Facebook years ago, go back and look at the posts and what people were talking about on Facebook. Remember Facebook before Facebook was Facebook? Look at MySpace. Anyone out there remember MySpace? Look at what people were talking about back then and compare it to what people are talking about now. It's been destructive. It's been destroyed. Everyone on Facebook is debating with each other, commenting on this and that, and attacking each other. And that just goes to show you that we as a people, we destroy everything we have, even when it starts out good. And this brings me to the Constitution of the United States. We have something that started out good and well-meaning. I mean, the Constitution is a great document if you read it. But yet we perverted it, and we've even fought a civil war over it. No, the Civil War wasn't fought over slavery like you've been taught to believe. We've destroyed that document, that foundation that we were able to stand upon to reach out abroad to try to change things and break away from tyranny. And a lot of us, we come convoluted within our own minds and our own ways of thinking because of the people outside of the way we think, trying to twist our thoughts and what we're trying to do, whether it's good or bad. And I know I'm rambling on here a little bit, but I want to listen to people out there, and hopefully people out there will bring a voice here to the platform tonight where we can all try to come together and understand the times in which we live in today. And that's what this show is really all about. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about reaching out to other people out there who need a voice, who want to change something, whether it's, like I said earlier, in your own home, in your neighborhood, your next-door neighbor, in your community, in your state, in your district, or globally. And I'm willing to listen to everybody here tonight. Hopefully people will enjoy this platform and bring some sort of understanding to the times in which you live in today. So how do we do that, folks? How do we begin here tonight or in the future? How do we bring people together to try to unify each other, to make our lives better, to understand the times in which we live in today? So, let's see here. Let's open up the phone lines here tonight, and let's bring on the callers. Remember, you got to press 1 only once, and I will bring you on live. I'm not like other Blog Talk Radio shows. I like to give everyone a chance here to speak. And I see my good old friend here, Mandelicon, is on the line, and he usually brings a little bit of controversy to the show, but he has a lot to say. So we'll open up with him first, let him open up, And I've invited others to the platform here tonight. We'll see if they take my invitation. But remember, you are unscreened, uncensored, and let's understand the times in which we're living today. And let's, without further ado, bring my first caller on. Mandela Khan, you're unmuted. The floor is yours, uninterrupted for a few minutes. Go ahead. What do you got to say? You wanted me to do this show here tonight, so here's your chance. You got a lot of people listening. The floor is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you, our illustrious producer. October 2019, the age of Aquarius, where change is womanatory. There is no third party, ventriloquist, or interpreter. I know, because of what you did as our illustrious producer after 3 years, and Tyrone Pinocchio the Terrible after 7 years, I know there's a plethora of your little rascals listening tonight. But on behalf of the executive order of the exigency, which is the change of heart, choosing a new way of life, I know that there's a plethora of people who have never spoke inside of understanding the times in which we live. Joe Gibson is my brother, my partner in time. He represents the Confederate flag, and that's a beautiful thing. Because when this country was founded by the founding fathers, it was a system put forth under 13 colonies. And it was a system of white power on monopoly, corruption, and greed, a Ponzi scheme, to where some people discovered a new world, new kids, who set their Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, Constitution under the Confederate flag. Joe Gibson is my brother. Even though we may differ, he allows me the red carpet treatment in his network under the Confederate flag, where there are a plethora of red, white, and blue conscious people, melanated people. And I know Angel Eagle Love will get in later, and she loves the Constitution, and she loves the Bible, like Joe Gibson. And she says they are our representatives. They are our people if they're supposed. That's what Angel Eagle Love. And Angel Eagle Love is not a matriarch. And I can prove that, what I'm saying. And I want to put this forth because of right now, in the sign of times in which we live in today, there's a dual system, a two-party system. Equal justice under the law, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, what we call taxation without representation, what we call equal justice, equal protection under the law. I don't care if you're Jose Feliciano, Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, and Helen Keller. Don't believe your lying eyes. If you honestly think right now that there's a system where we can guarantee the freedom, justice, and total independence of not only the people in this country, but outside this country, that's where the Creator exists. That's why the Ethiopian Empire of the matriarch and Class Action 567 defeats the Confederate flag and the red, white, and blue, and imposes the red, black, and green from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, from the UK, University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo under the Class Action of 567. The matriarch is Class Action 567. So if any man that wants to come to this platform to challenge me, including Joe Gibson or Tyrone Thompson, you've already lost based on the case that the whole country is in the uproar today. And that case,
well, a lot of people, Mandela don't know who Tyrone Thompson is. I'm getting messages right now on Facebook. Who is Tyrone Thompson? You see, you and I have a special relationship, I know, like you said, here, but you're bringing up Tyrone Thompson. You're spewing out names. Can you explain who Tyrone Thompson is?
Okay. Joe Gibson is in North Carolina. Tyrone Thompson is in South Carolina, he's a producer of the KKK, the Closet Klux Klan of the Black Klux Klan in South Carolina. And he represents the red, white, and blue. Most of the people who host blog talk radios are veterans. They're prison guards. They're former security guards. They're cops. They're Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine. But because Tyrone Thompson always attacks Joe Gibson as a racist because he represents the Confederate flag, you have to remember, and I'm here to help you remember what you forgot or what you don't want to recognize. The Confederate flag is a minority oppressor of African indigenous people across the world. It is the red, white, and blue, and the eagle who is the most number one public enemy number one. It is the eagle of the red, white, and blue. And Tyrone Thompson, him, Sarge, and all his veterans over there, they represent the red, white, and blue, but they want to point the finger at Joe Gibson. The Confederate flag only oppressed the minority in the so-called country under the founding fathers called the United States of America, the Confederate flag. But the red, white, and blue, even today, it is performing genocide, war crimes, cruel and usury punishment, and genocide on the majority of people of color from Africa, Arab world, South and Central America, Haiti, wherever you see it, the red, white, and blue, the eagle, is public enemy on the international network number one. Yet, Tyrone
so what
Thompson
do we
will not allow.
What do we replace the red, white, and blue with? Like I opened up in my intro, what solutions do you have to offer to replace the red, white, and blue, where everyone will be happy and one love and let live?
Right. Live and let live and one love is the final analysis, and I'll prove it by 2 cases. That's right on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. It won't be on the FCC, radio and TV, BET, 10, 6, and 3. And that is the lioness in New York who jumped into a lion's den, and the king recognized the great lioness that she represents the vegetation and the concrete jungle, and that she alone, there was a woman just a few days ago in New York that jumped into the lion's den in the Steve Irwin, the so-called Tarzan and Jane. You know, this black woman jumped in a lion's den just a few days ago, and guess what the lion did? He recognized her as a leader, the great lioness from Ethiopia that represents the concrete and vegetation jungle. That was in social media, and it won't be on 10, 6, and 3. It won't be on C-SPAN, CNN, Fox. It won't be on MSNBC or 10, 6, and 3. But that happened. It happened, and I can prove what I'm saying. Equally as important, there was a case where just the other day in Texas, where they execute more African and more people in Texas, and even though kill or be killed is y'all's main ingredient, they still killing each other in H-Town in Dallas. But in Dallas, Texas, a cop, a white woman, was hugged by a judge, the family, and a bailiff was stroking her hair. What is that so significant? The perpetrator is the woman, the white woman. And if she was given 1 year, 10 years, or 100 years, she was never to be given no beneficence or demonstrate no kind of, repentance. It was the son, the man she was having sex with, that she knew when he told her he didn't want her no more, that she went into his house. But here's the deal. The man, the young boy, The young man who testified against her.
Hang on, Mendelicon. I see a whole host of people. Hang on, Mendelicon. I see a lot of people that want to get on the phone line here tonight, so I just want to let you know you will get a live voice here. Mendelicon, hang on. As a producer, I've got to allow. I got to let people know that I do see their phone number. So go ahead, continue.
Okay. Now, just the other day, the number one, and remember this is live and in living color, and we went into this testimony. On behalf of the prosecution of the people, the young man just 2 days ago was executed in Texas. A young man. After her appeal, which would come, the witness has been killed. Who killed the young man? Who killed the young man? Who killed the young man after the judge, after the bailiff, after the family hugged this murderer? Never in the history of the United States of America, there is not a white man or a white woman who will ever hug if the person was given 1 day, 100 years, or 10 years, they would never hug him. Who killed the young man who was the number one witness against the prosecution of this woman? And she's getting ready to get her appeal. They gave her 10 years. She should have got life because she was a officer of the court of America under John, under the red, white, and blue, under the Confederate flag.
Yeah, but Mendelicon, you're singling out one case. Does that case really represent what we're all about here on Blog Talk Radio, that one case?
Absolutely. Yes, because
Why?
we know
Why?
Black lives don't matter, even with black policemen, with black prison guards, with black judges, black so-called attorneys, with black school teachers, with black business people. We know that black lives don't matter no goddamn where unless the United States of America and the Eagle is destroyed.
Neither does white lives in the current system we have, and that's what we're here to discuss.
Okay, Joe. I want you to tell me one case where there was a white judge, a white bailiff, or a white family.
You want me to really do a case review here tonight?
No, Joe, listen.
You know as well as I do there's all different types of cases out there.
Tell me one case that you got recorded in your archive where the family...
I will before the end of the show. How's that sound? I will.
Okay,
before the end of the show, Mendelicon.
Okay,
I'm going to give you
in South Carolina.
All right, well, Mendelicon, I'm going
Tyrone
to give you 2 more minutes here. I got other callers here.
Okay.
Mendelicon, I'm asking you to give 2 minutes to your speech here. Go ahead.
Okay, listen. Tyrone Thompson, you live in South Carolina. Joe Gibson is in North Carolina.
North Carolina, Mendelicon. North Carolina.
Joe Gibson, but Angel Eagle Lady Love is in Philadelphia, the city brother love, and Aksheda Veda, the chosen daughter of the matriarch. She knows what I'm getting ready to say, and I'm going to tell you this. Senator Clemenza and 9 people in South Carolina, Tyrone, Pinocchio the Terrible, with your terrible cracks of war criminals under Uncle Sam under the red, white, blue. Isn't it extraordinary that just when Barack Hussein Obama was the president, the mad bomber of African people all across the world, isn't it extraordinary that one lone suspect or lone ranger, you say it was Dylan Klebold. No, what was his name? The young boy that went into the church killed Senator Clemenza in South Carolina and then 8 other people. And then the day after, he executed all them Africans in the church, the sanctuary, a place of refuge and protection, that all the people forgave him. They got $40 million. The whole church got $40 motherfucking million. That's why.
All right, watch your language, please. Watch the language here,
Okay. Well, let me just finish this off right quick. This is staged, activated, orchestrated, and presented. Staged, activated, orchestrated, and presented. How could it be that Senator Clemenza and the young boy who went to McDonald's, who did get shot down. And then today, this woman who's a cop and her number one witness against her, he's executed, and y'all acting like you don't understand. I'm only here to help you remember what you forgot or what you don't want to recognize. So I want all the new callers, not none of your usual suspects, not none of your clan club or your fan club, not Tyrone Thompson and his, what's his name, Trash Jesus the Senator, Black Jesus Minister, you no good bastard. Let me tell you something. I'm telling you, religion is worse than dope. I don't care if you're a Hebrew, Israelite, Moor, Muslim, or Christian. If you got the Bible, Torah, and the Quran, that was created by the Pope of Rome and the King of England. Religion is worse than dope. It's worse than heroin, crack, and amphetamines. People on crack and amphetamines, they know they sick. But y'all on the Bible, Torah, and the Quran, y'all honestly think you're getting some religious or some spiritual nourishment. Nothing can be further from the truth. I rest your case, and I know there's a plethora of people who want to get in. I know there's a whole bunch of people
all right,
who never
Mandela-Con.
call.
All right, thank you, Mandela-Con. Please. Now listen, John Wayne Gacy. Look that name up, John Wayne Gacy. The year was, and the year and month was May 10th, 1994. Okay? Look that up. A judge hugged and gave a Bible to a killer. Okay, all right.
Oh,
so,
wait a minute. Hold on, Joe.
Mandela-Con, hang on. I'm answering your question. Oh, boy.
Okay, you said one case.
Well, if you shut up for a minute and let me explain, I'm going to give you other names to look up. Leonard Gonzalez Jr., okay? New Jersey murder, 11 of the most horrific New Jersey killings. A judge gave a Bible to it. So you're singling out one case here. You know, I'm just trying to answer your question.
I said the judge gave a hug to the murderer.
And the judge did give a Bible and a hug to the killer in those cases, Mandela-Con. That's what I'm trying to tell you, okay? But anyway, let's Mandela-Con, stay on hold. I'll give you more Mandela-Con, if we're going to have a discussion, we've got to yield to each other. Yelling over each other, we're going to get nowhere. I listen to you. Now let's bring on 336. 336.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Is that Dr.
You can call me Reverend.
Please?
Yeah, you call me Reverend Dickinson tonight. I'm Reverend Dickinson tonight, but why not? Every other guy could be a Reverend. I could be a Reverend too, just like a doctor. But Mandela brings up excellent points. The problem is he brings up 40 of them within 5 minutes. So it's hard to follow up against him or to counteract him in any way because there's so many different points he brings up. I mean, every time he speaks, though, he talks about you, the red, white, and blue, and the rebel flag, and being under the rebel flag. I've never once heard you say you're under the rebel flag or support it or anything else like that. You just don't see nothing wrong with it. You're like me. It's a symbol of history, so that's about where it stands there. But he's also remember the
Confederate flag is Joe Gibson's symbol. Confederate flag is Joe Gibson's symbol. Confederate flag is Joe Gibson's symbol.
All right, okay.
All right, well,
thank
the rainbow
you,
flag.
Mandela-Con.
The rainbow
Please
flag
let
is my
the
symbol.
doctor
Okay.
Continue. Please let the doctor continue.
But what they don't seem to realize is the red, white, and blue is also the same colors that are allowing them to talk like they talk and speak like they speak with no repercussions. Because in about 75% of
There's
the
only
countries,
one people speaking now. That's me. What the fuck are you talking about, they?
No, actually,
all right,
I was speaking
guys,
until you rudely. I was speaking until you rudely interrupted me like you always do. But I'm going to go ahead and congratulate you, first of all, on buying your new dead battery for your smoke detector, because obviously you still haven't replaced that, and you haven't not enough self-respect to protect yourself from a house fire, let alone the people around you to replace that 9-volt battery.
Those that's listening,
so now,
that's
if we want to continue this discussion, we will continue this discussion. But until Mandela shuts his Ethiopian swallowing mouth, we can never have a discussion because he always wants to interrupt. And he's continually interrupting.
He is interrupting you. He is interrupting. Finish your point, Dr. Leroy. Go ahead.
Okay, and then he made the point about the concrete and vegetation jungle of Ethiopia. There is no concrete and vegetation jungle in Ethiopia. It's nothing but dust and dried up dirt. It's a wasteland. That's what Ethiopia is. Get off that shit already. It's a burnt
Thank
up,
you,
has
God, the
been,
Klux Klansman, Dr. Leroy.
You shut
All right,
up.
when you have the sickly shit.
Listen, Mandela
All right, I gotta mute him.
you have your time
Dr.
to
Leroy,
respond.
because you didn't interrupt him. You did not interrupt him,
No, I
so I'm
didn't.
going to let you finish your point. Go ahead.
No, I didn't. And this is my opinion, Mandela Khan. I'm not stating it's fact or anything else. It's my opinion, so don't get mad at me. But Ethiopia, 3,000 years ago, it probably was a flourishing country. Most of Africa was very green, plenty of water and vegetables. But today, it's nothing but a dust bowl. It's a has-been. It's a wash of what it used to be. So you can't keep saying we're going to make it more like Ethiopia because nobody wants to be starving and full of drugs and full of freaking damn diseases and can't even plant a damn flower in your front damn yard because it ain't going to rain for 37 years. But anyway, you got to come up with something better than that. But you know, he brought up 37 points, and I tried to jot a lot of them down, and it's hard to keep up because you can't stay on the same topic because he'll stay on the same topic for a minute, then he goes to 43 others. But, you know, one of them was, when has been a white man treated like a black man? Well, I'll tell you, I mean, one of the most famous cases in the world. How about Lee Harvey Oswald? And then Jack Ruby, David Koresh. I mean, you know, if David Koresh was alive today and he was a black man, what would happen? We would, holy shit, that shit wouldn't fly today. Damn, no damn government be storming that damn complex because that'd be wrong, and we were persecuted for that. That's for damn sure. And, you know, officers, I'm going to tell you something. That lady down in Texas, we weren't in that trial. We weren't in that courtroom. We don't know what was said. We don't know what none of the facts were. Only the people in that courtroom know. And to have a jury mixed of white, black, whatever, to only convict her of 10 years, they must have saw something fit to only convict her of 10 years. If they thought she was 100% innocent, she would have got away with nothing. But they saw some type of damn guilt in there or something corrupt and not 100% legal where they gave her 10 years. Now, if they would have thought she did it out of cold blood, she probably would have got the death sentence. It was Texas. They don't give a shit if you're white, black, Mexican, an armadillo, or a frickin' mosquito. You're going to die in Texas if you're convicted, plain and simple. Look it up. So there has to be something more into that trial that we don't know because we're on the outside. So until we find out, we could quit jumping to conclusions like every single son of a bitch on the left side of the aisle does that did the same damn thing 2 years ago that now wants to blame Trump. Quit jumping to conclusions. Same thing Obama did when he said, if that was my son, or made comments about Freddie Gray and all these other murderers before the facts were out there to make people draw a negative conclusion that was opposite of what the narrative should have been. So, I mean, you could go on and go on and go on. You preach great stuff, Mandela. I got to tell you, you honestly do. I wish the world was like you want it to be. The problem is it will never be because there's too many other people, too many other religions, if you want to call it a religion, too many other countries that think otherwise, and they think they are better. So if we all in the United States followed your way, live, love, live, let live, everything else, and we became this perfect utopia of harmony of people living amongst each other in the trees and the animals, spanking the animals on their ass before we kill them and eat them, there's going to be another country that thinks they're better than us. And that's the bottom line, and that's how it's going to go. It's always going to be that way because we cannot convince other people to follow us, and they cannot convince us to follow them. It's a constant head-bunting act. And until something happens, an asteroid hits the fucking Earth and divides the son of a bitch in half, and you got two halves that can no longer reach each other, that's the way it's going to be. So we have to come up with logical and reasonable ways that we can make it better today and tomorrow and so on and so forth. And the way to make it reasonable ain't taking drastic freaking damn ideas and trying to impose them on people that are still on the line. because you're not going to get them to follow you. You got to take a little bit. Just take a little bit. That's why right now, if somebody in the middle of the road, let's say a little bit right, a little bit left, was to run for president and stick to his guns and stuck it to both of them, they'd probably win the presidency in 2020. But you can't be that. You either got to be left or you got to be far to the right. And otherwise, they're going to shoot your ass down and you can be thrown out of court. And just like Joey always says, it's a big club and you're not in it. So you got to find a way to get in that club and divide the club. And by preaching constant negativity, the European invaders, the space invaders, or whatever, you're never going to get there. And that's what I'm trying to say to you, Mandela Khan. Okay, Joey, I'm done.
Okay. All right. Well, he had his say. I'll let Mandela Khan react to what Dr. Leroy had to say. Now, I'm going to mute everybody if they start yelling over each other. We cannot do that. Everyone stay silent. I'm going to let Mandela Khan react to what Dr. Leroy had to say. Go ahead, Mandela Khan. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, my brother in time of the People's Revolution, and he represents the Confederate flag. And even John, one of our other cohorts, who represents the original red, white, and blue. I represent the red, black, green, and gold. The race card was not created by African indigenous people on the planet. Race created white power versus black power. But it's really wrong power versus right power. That's why I'm the judge, because of the matriarch. Live and let live in one love. Race was created by white men, and white men will fight to the death to talk about race. But when it comes to genocide, war crimes, cruel and unusual punishment, and exact specific crimes against African and indigenous people all across the planet, there's not a white man that will come to the pulpit, podium, telephone, and microphone and say, I want to give some 40 acres of a mule. I want to give some reparations for the atrocities that the illegal alien European invader immigrant under the Masonic Order of the Patriarch, which was founded by the founding fathers, the Pope and the King of England. That's what created the race. There was no such thing in hundreds of thousands, millions of years of the word called race. I'm here to tell you, as I help you remember what you forgot or what you don't want to remember, the only race is the race for freedom, justice, and total independence. And the People's Revolution is not all black and it's not all men. The People's Revolution is not under race. It's under class, the have-nots. And never in the history of the world has the majority of people banded together to say enough is enough under kill or be killed. So race, as Dr. Peter Ventura, Dr. Leroy, or Dr. Black Jesus Minister, or Dr. whoever the fuck, the more doctors we have.
Come on now.
Okay.
How do you expect me to edit this show? Come on.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There's guidelines we got to go under. Come on.
Okay, the most doctors that come, you all go to the doctor. You go get your Percocets. You go get your Suboxone. You go get your whatever you get. But the bottom line is, those are under pharmaceuticals, under the drugs. And pharmaceuticals are doctors behind doors or doctors on the corners. The doctors on the corners are more valid than the doctors behind doors. The doctors behind doors are here for capitalism based on imperialism, the monopoly Ponzi scheme to make capital money. And those doctors behind doors are worse than the doctors on the corner. Now, you say, well, there's the doctors on the corner. They got crack, they got heroin, they got reefer, they got cocaine, Mandela. But if you go and look at all of these prescriptions where they're mixing up the liquor and they're mixing up the, what they call it, Suboxone, the Quaaludes, all these things, Percocets and everything, the doctors behind the doors, they're prescribing a bunch of pharmaceuticals. I'm only telling you that the drug war is not a race thing. Can you imagine all of this war on terrorism heroin that's got the majority of white people leaning over like a Statue of Liberty, like a scarecrow? It's worse. It's worse than
predominantly white nation.
Okay, look, it's worse than this Mexican tar. And listen, this war on terrorism dope out of Afghanistan, that shit is 100% pure. And most of these young white people under these opioids, this stuff
all right, Mandela
is tearing up.
Yes, we can point our fingers all day long at what race is doing what, but how do we understand the times in which we live in today? What is the solution? Again.
It's not a race thing. See, Dr. Leroy, Dr. Peter, remember when Dr. What's his name? Peter Ventura, he said, look,
Dr. Leroy.
you're either going to have the Bible. Okay, no, Dr. Peter Ventura, just the other day, the last program. Remember? When he came in, he said,
Mandela knows I ain't preaching from the Bible.
Oh, no. I'm talking about Dr. Peter Ventura. Dr. Peter Ventura,
yeah, I know.
Boy, he said, we either going to have the Bible or we're going to have the jungle. But everyone knows, black, brown, red, yellow, white, if you're not Jose Feliciano, Ray Charles, Steve Wonder, and Helen Keller, you know that there ain't no jungle in the European world. So when he said you're going to have the Bible, this guy who says he's Dr. Peter Ventura, that, we're going to have the Bible or the jungle, everyone knows that ain't no Steve Irwin, ain't no Jane or Tarzan. He's talking about we can't let black people have their sovereignty, integrity, dignity, independence. We can't have them, their birthrights, their 40 acres in the mule, their reparations. We can't let them have their freedom, justice. If you don't go with white power, with the Bible, you're going to have the jungle.
So what do the black people want, Mandela Khan? So what do the black people want exactly? If you're making that statement, what do they want?
Here's what we want. We know the majority of people under the Creator on the planet Earth are African, indigenous, or Arabs, or Mexican, Puerto Rican, Chicano. The minority, the real minority under the Creator is white people. So we know that when Dr. Peter Ventura on your program said, in Understand Time which we live, we're going to have the Bible or the jungle, ain't no jungle in Ireland, England, France, Germany, or in the so-called white world. What he was saying is that what we got to do, because in the Irish, there is no pygmies, the Twa, there is no leprechaun.
But Mandela Khan, my question stands. What do the black people want for freedom, justice, and independence? What do they want?
Okay, here's what we want. We want a system where without a visa, green card, a passport, a birth certificate, without all that restricts us from going east, west, north, and south. Christopher Columbus or America Vespucci.
So you want the right to travel anywhere you want to go, correct?
Okay.
You want the right to travel.
Right. What we want is that you, Dr. Peter Ventura, Dr. Leroy, or any Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton or whoever, George Washington, you have no jurisdiction to restrict us from moving east, west, north, and south. If you try to put up any
that was my question, Mandela Khan. So
you want a nation without borders?
Hang on, the black people of the earth and universe and in Americas and wherever around the globe want the right to travel anywhere they want to go.
We won't invade your space. We won't try to rape your children. We won't try to rob your old folks. If you free us and leave us to...
That is fine for you, Mandela Khan.
All right,
Mandela, that is fine for you.
No. I'm telling you. I'm giving you the extradition. You have no jurisdiction over me.
Hold on, Mandela, let's actually have a conversation for once.
Go ahead, Dr. Leroy. Go ahead.
Thank you. Let's have a conversation of arguing.
Your turn, Dr. Leroy. Okay. Your turn.
All right, thank you. Let's have a conversation instead of argument for once. That is fine in your eyes, in my eyes. for that to happen if that's the way me, you, and everybody else sees it. But what about for the people that don't believe in that? And they don't want to come here to be peaceful. They want to come here to interrupt my life or someone else's life.
Okay, Dr.
That's
Leroy.
why we have
Dr.
national
Leroy.
borders. Okay, go ahead.
Dr. Leroy,
Go ahead,
let
go
me
ahead.
ask you a question. When you say come here, what are you talking about? The invention, the new kids on the block, the invention of the United States of America? We were here before you came here. So when you say come here, what do you mean?
But that's irrelevant, Mandela. Let's talk about now. I don't care what happened 2,000 years ago. Let's
But Dr. Leroy brought up a great point.
Today.
Dr. Leroy brought up a great point. When he said come here, what do you mean when you say in the new kids on the block, in your selective amnesia, when did you come here?
At one time, the Earth was one great big continent. It's been divided now over millions and millions of years. What does it matter what happened a million years ago? What does it matter happened 1,000 years ago? What does it matter happened 200 years ago? We're living now, and times are changing.
Dr. Leroy, we're talking about equal protection.
He's trying to answer your question, Mandela Khan. Can you let him answer?
Justice. You know, Dr. Leroy, there's a two-tiered justice system in the so-called United States of America. America is North, South, and Central America before the United States of America. You know, right now,
so
based
Mandela
on what's happening...
Mandela Khan, let me interject here. So you're saying right now that the black people of America don't have the right to travel, correct?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying from the continent of Africa, there is no such thing as the United States of Africa, as there are the United States of America, and without the United States of Africa...
Then get the African people together and start a big revolution.
Wait a minute,
wait.
Dr. Leroy and Joe, I'm not going to let y'all bank me. I don't like gang members. Don't y'all double team me now.
Lord.
So
no,
we're not
doing that.
We're asking you a simple question. You said the black people
you can't ask me a simple question when you're trying to both double team me. I don't like gang members. Crips or Bloods. Black or white.
We're not trying to be racist here, Mandela Khan. What we're trying to ask you is this. You said you want the right to travel. That's what you said you want for the black people of this planet.
No. Here's what I said. Let me say this.
I wish for a world like Mandela Khan.
Here's what I want. I don't preach nothing. I don't preach nothing. Dr. Leroy's quit lying. Let me say this. I don't want no followers.
Hell, how do you know what I feel? You don't know what I feel. I wish for a world like you're preaching. But the problem is getting there when there's so many other people that don't wish for the same. And there's so many other countries.
But wait a minute.
So many other...
But Dr. Leroy.
Go ahead.
Why you keep putting all these block tackles and fumbles in front of understanding the times we live in today? Kill or be killed.
You just said it because I'm talking about changing today or tomorrow, and you keep bringing up the past.
Dr. Leroy.
All right, hang on a second here. Mandela Khan, hang on. Let's not get off the original topic here. You said you want the black people around the globe the right to travel east, west, north, whatever.
I did not say that.
What you want.
I did not say that. What I said was this, that there's not a white person or illegal alien European invader, a Caucasian, a cracker, or a peckerwood. There's not a white person that can say anything based on due process, equal protection under the law. There's not a white person in this country that can interfere with the revolution of the matriarch. That's what I said.
So, all right, Mandela Khan. All right, so my point is on this. All right, so Mandela Khan, you're saying that the white people, the white European invaders should not interfere with the black people around the globe to travel east, west, north, south, whatever way they want to go. That's what your primary point was in this conversation, correct?
Okay, between you and Dr. Leroy, when you stumbled upon Christopher Columbus or Amerigo Vespucci, Did you have a green card or visa?
That's not what I'm talking about. Forget Christopher.
I'm telling you. I'm going to ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Did you have a green card
600 years ago? Okay, you're bringing up something that happened 600 years ago.
I'm going to ask both of you right now. Did you, when you came with your Declaration of Independence, Constitution, and red, white, and blue?
I had nothing to do with that. Why are you asking me? I had nothing to do with that.
Hold on.
I was born in 1975.
Did you have a visa, green card, passport, a birth certificate? Did you have a driver's license?
Well, no.
Did you have a right to travel?
Nobody had a visa or a passport back in 1637.
Joe, I'm going to answer this real quick.
Okay. So what I'm saying, you're talking about the genesis of the Constitution, Declaration of Independence, and Bill of Rights, the Confederate flag and the red, white, and blue. What I'm saying, what y'all put forth as the founding fathers is null and void, because since you did not have a green card, a visa, a passport, you, as white people, cannot even enter a sentence or
all right, Mandela Khan, let's talk normal here. Mandela Khan, people that are tuning into this show right now are going to think we're nuts. All right, today, in the year 2000, hang on, Mandela Khan, today, in 2019, October 6th, 2019.
Right.
You're telling me today, as of today, I don't care about Christopher Columbus. I don't care about the Pope 3,000 years ago. I'm talking about today. You're telling me that the black people, the Ethiopian people from the continent of Africa are obstructed from the free will and right to travel around the globe because of the European invaders. Is that what you're saying?
Because of a visa, a passport, a green card, and immigration.
Joe,
It has moved
let me say something real quick.
Y'all did not have no visa
of visas.
All right. We're going to go one at a time here. Let's go one at a time. Go ahead, Leroy, you're first. Hang on. Leroy, you're first for 1 minute, and then Mandela Khan will get 1 minute. Go ahead.
No. I'm not trying to argue with him or anything else like that, but I'm trying to oppose an alternate point of view. And because of visas and green cards and everything like that, the United States, we, me, you, anybody else in the United States, don't make up them rules. Every country makes up their own rules. That's why you have to have a visa to get into their country. They have their own criteria you have to meet. Travel from Africa to China and see what you have to go through. Now travel from the United States to China and see what you have to go through. Okay? Two different worlds completely. Has nothing to do with the white man. What are you going to call the Chinese people that are suppressing you? The slanted brown-eyed guys or the tea makers? I mean, it's got to stop. And as long as you keep spewing out the hatred for European invaders, something that happened 600 years ago, you can't move forward. The only way to move forward is to talk about the problems today and what we do tomorrow, not what happened. And every time you start talking about what happened in the past. You know what? I was born in 1975. I have nothing to do with your damn slavery. My family came over here in the 30s and the 40s from Europe. Okay, and before then, who knows? They may have lived in Ethiopia. I don't have a freaking damn clue. But to get to that point, to say that I owe you reparations for any damn thing, for you or any African or any Chinese or any Indian or a damn alien from 13,000 billion universes away think I owe you, is absolutely ridiculous. It's ignorant and preposterous to even think of something like that. Why don't you owe me reparations for killing some, I don't know, or whatever, or a black guy stole my bike when I was 13 years old? Do I get reparations for that? Hell no, I don't. It's something I live with and grew up with, and now I learn from. So now you know what? When I go to Walmart, I lock my damn doors. You learn from it. You
all
know,
right,
the black people should learn from it.
All right, Dr. Leroy, I said I'd give you 1 minute. Okay. Everyone else who wants to join in the conversation here, obviously Mandela Khan's bringing up a point here that the European invaders have invaded America and have no right to be here, and therefore they had no visas, no permission to get here, and they conquered America. So therefore, Mandela Khan says that according
nobody had visas 600 years ago, Joseph.
Hang on. Let me finish my point. According to Mandela Khan, that the African indigenous people that came here to America or who were brought here forcibly should have the right to travel unobstructed anywhere they want to go, because the European people came here and set these ground rules up where the African indigenous people now are living under restrictions where they cannot travel to and fro. That's what I'm getting from the conversation thus far. Now, I'm going to open up Mandela Khan's line and see. Hang on. Now I'm going to open up Mandela Khan's line and see what his point of view is on what I just said, unless he wants to flip the script and bring something else up. Go ahead, Mandela Khan. The floor is yours. And remember, other callers, press the number one time, and I will bring you on to the platform. The phone number is 657-383-0616. Mandela Khan, you get 1 minute. Please, nobody interrupt. Give him 1 full minute at the 29-minute mark here. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mandela Khan.
Thank you. Because of you and Dr. Leroy or Dr. P. Vendor or Dr. Black Jesus Minister, your selective amnesia proves that the Ethiopian matriarch under Class Action 567 wins. Doctors Without Borders. Before the illegal alien European invader appeared on the Americas, not the United States of America, there's a difference between the United States of America and North, South, and Central America. There were indigenous people in Alaska, Canada, and what you and Dr. Leroy and Peter Ventura is talking about, jingoistic nationalism under white power. What I'm talking about, before you appeared on these shores, there were a flourishing empire, a flourishing people of live and let live in one love, who had their sovereignty, integrity, and dignity, not only in the Americas, but when you look at the 205 nations on the planet, the sovereignty and integrity and dignity and independence of the people was intact before to the victor goes the spoils, the eagle. When the eagle won, to the victor goes the spoils. The minority white nations joined together as they are today to keep control of what they stole. It's a stolen legacy. There was no black or white.
All right, Mandela Khan, 10 seconds. Go ahead, 10 seconds, and I want to open up the phone lines. Go ahead, 10 seconds.
It's wrong versus right. And the Ethiopian matriarch, it was wrong for a black man or a white man. I'm not going to let y'all put it in the race because y'all create the race. You, Dr. Leroy, Dr. People, y'all in the race. The real race is for freedom, justice, and total independence. When it comes to people's revolution, it's not all black and it's not all men.
I'm not going to have you
Mandela Khan, obviously you're not going to allow other people to speak without talking over them. Okay. Now, let's go to 765. 765. Go ahead.
Hey, it's 903. Can I talk to like 904, 905?
You could talk for until 9:10 if you want to. I won't interrupt. Go ahead.
I think it'll just take a couple minutes. And if you start to hear me, you'll probably want to interrupt me, but I just want to read it. I read it once. I might have read it like 2,000 years ago.
You're interrupting Mandela Khan. Allow her to speak, please. Go ahead,
I know who she is. Get your mouth. I know who she is.
Oh, God. All right, Mandela Khan, I got to mute you. You're interrupting somebody you know. Go ahead.
Hey, I know who the host is.
Thunder.
All right, come on. Let 765 speak. Go ahead.
Thunder. I was sent out from the power and have come to you who study me and am found by you who seek me. Look at me, you who study me and you who hear me. Hear me! You waiting for me. Take me into yourself. Don't banish me from your vision. Don't let hatred enter your voice against me, or let anger enter your hearing. In no place, in no time, be unknowing of me. Be alert. Don't be ignorant of me. I am the first and the last. I am the honored and scorned. I am the whore and holy. I am the wife and the virgin. I am the mother and daughter. I am the members of my mother and the barren one with many sons. I have had a grand wedding and have not found a husband. I am a midwife and do not give birth. I am the solace of my labor pain. I am bride and groom, and my husband produced me. I am the mother of my father and sister of my husband, and he is my offspring. I am a slave of him who prepared me and ruler of my offspring. He produced me earlier yet on my birthday. He is my offspring to come, and from him is my power. I am the staff of his power in his youth, and he the rod of my old age. And whatever he wants happens to me. I am silent, incomprehensible, and an idea remembered often. I am the voice whose sound is manifold, and word whose appearance is multiple. I am the utterance of my name. Why do you hate me? Love me.
Okay, and where did you read that from, ma'am? All right, hang on. All right, ma'am, we can read all night long. I let you read, but where are you reading that from, if you don't mind me asking?
I only got like 20 more seconds to finish it. Like if we stop now, we'll read it. In the Nag Hammadi scriptures, it's called the perfect mind. Okay, why do you hate me? Love me and hate those who love. Why do you who hate me love me and hate those who love me? You who deny me confess me, and you who confess me deny me. You who tell the truth about me lie about me, and you who lie tell the truth. You who know me be ignorant of me, and those who have not known me, let them know me. I am knowledge and ignorance. I am shame and fearlessness. I am shameless and ashamed. I am strength and fear. I am war and peace. Hear what I say. I am the disgrace and the green being. Consider my poverty and wealth. Don't be arrogant when I'm cast down on the earth, and you will find me in those who are to come. Don't stare at me lying on a dung heap. Don't run off and cast me away. In the kingdoms you will find me. Don't stare when I am cast with disgrace. In the most sordid places they laugh at me. Don't throw me out among those violently slaughtered. I am compassionate and cruel. Be careful. Don't hate my obedience or love my self-control. When I am weak, don't forsake me or burn my power. Why do you despise my fear and curse my pride? I am a woman existing in every fear, and in my strength when I tremble. I am a woman weak and carefree in a pleasant place. I am senseless and wise. Why have you hated me in your counsels? I will be silent among the silent and appear and speak. Greeks, why do you hate me?
Oh, my God, okay, enough.
All right, okay, I gave you 10 seconds, ma'am.
I'm the judgment of Greeks and barbarians. My image is great in Egypt, and I have no image among the barbarians. I'm hated everywhere and loved everywhere. I am called life, and you have called me death.
Nobody hates you. Nobody hates you.
If she feels that bad, maybe she should go ahead and shoot herself.
Before you are ashamed, and to me you are shameless. I'm the woman who attends no
festivals.
Okay,
all right, thank you. I allowed you to speak.
God is great. I'm the one you studied.
Drink cyanide.
I'm trying to be polite here, but she asked for 10 seconds.
I know.
I gave her 30.
I know. Mandela
I think that's very rude.
Shut
I
up.
think that's very rude, actually. Very rude. I think she's trying to make a point here, but you see, you can't have a civilized conversation with people like this. You just can't. Because you're trying to give people a time here to speak, and they just want to be rude. And this is why we need to understand the times in which you live in today. Because how could you give everyone a voice when they just shout over you and they yell over you and they just want to be heard? How do you understand the times? And this is what I opened up with. We are in chaos here. Chaos.
Well, we are.
You know, you say, okay, here's 20 seconds, and then they take 2 minutes, and they just yell over you. You know, how could you do that? How are we supposed to have a discussion? How are you going to unite 11 million people, Mandela Khan? Everybody yelling over each other, fighting with each other, and yelling and blaming the European invaders when I ask a specific question? What does the black indigenous people want? And then you just start yelling at me. And you start yelling at Dr. Leroy, you're a racist, you're a white man, your Ku Klux Klan Club is going to take over. And, you know, how do you have a civilized conversation?
He didn't call me racist. I think Mandela Khan knows. I think Mandela Khan knows I'm not no racist. But You know, it's Mandela Khan's
it
message.
doesn't matter what we think he knows. The point of it is we're trying to have a conversation.
But you're misunderstanding the point here. It's his message, and that's his job, is to deliver the message. But I enjoy sitting down. I would really enjoy having a conversation with him about his message, where we can have a
but
Q&A.
But you can't have a conversation.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Without 30 minutes of him splattering more and more spew. If I have a question, I want a simple answer. I don't need 60 minutes worth of answer. Just like you. If I have a question with you or Peter Ventura about the Bible, I don't need a 60-minute explanation about chapter 9, verse 34, subpart A, when he said this. I just want the simple answer. That's all I want, because I want to know how you think and how we feel, because you know what? 9 times out of 10, we all want the same damn thing at the end.
But well, actually, the thing of it is, though, is some people don't want the same thing. Is they want confusion and chaos, and that's what we're getting into, a lot of disorder, and that's what we're trying to get to. Now, press number 1, folks. If you want a couple minutes here to speak here tonight, you got to remember there has to be some sort of moderation. Everyone just can't yell over each other and start shouting at each other, because we're not going to accomplish anything. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to give Mandela Khan another minute here to reflect. I'll give him a minute and 30 seconds starting at the 19-minute mark here. Okay? Now, please, let's allow Mandela Khan to speak here at the 19-minute mark to answer any questions that many of us may have out there. And all others, please press number 1 if you want to jump into the conversation. Go ahead, Mandela Khan. Unmute. Oh, hang on. Sorry, wrong number. Mandela Khan, where are you? There you are. Unmuted. Go ahead. 19 minutes. That's perfect. I did that good. Go ahead, Mandela Khan.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our illustrious producer of understanding the times in which we live in today. In October 2019, you just heard the voice of the daughter of the matriarch. And I won't give her name nor of her where she's at, but she rambled. She went off, but she speaks on behalf of the Ethiopian matriarch, and it's not black women alone. She speaks on behalf of living that live in one love, because the women have seen their families under the aid to the dependent children, the family court, the court of the Confederate flag and the red, white, and blue. Every woman, black, brown, red, yellow, and white, old, young, gay, straight, alike, are seeing their families being destroyed. That woman you just heard is a white woman, and I'm an African man. And I love that woman. And I love her like any other African woman on the planet. So I know you, Dr. Leroy, say, well, look, she's just rambling. But like I told you before, like Tyrone, Pinocchio, the terrible after 7 years. You, Tyrone, your wife divorced you. And the great woman under the wolf pack, she left you, Tyrone, because you messed with me. That woman you just heard is a so-called, if you look at her, she looks like a white woman. But when it comes to the birthright, the sovereignty and integrity and independence of all mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers on the planet, that woman speaks volumes, because she knows how the state tried to interfere with her family structure. It takes a village to raise a child.
I gave you a minute and 30 seconds. Mandela Khan, I'm glad you puffed up the white woman who was trying to be a black woman. Okay, that's great. Okay.
No, Joe.
Yes, Mandela Khan, I gave you a minute and 30 seconds like I promised. Let's move on to the next caller.
I submit. I sound my voice.
All right, let's move on to the next caller. Private caller. Go ahead, Mandela Khan. I'll bring you back. We got to keep order here. Go ahead, private caller. Private caller.
Me?
Yes, that's you. Go ahead. Me? Quickly, please. 2 minutes. Yeah, that's you for the third time. Yes.
Well, I never heard the thing tell me that I was unmuted, so I didn't know it was me.
All right, well, I'm telling you. Go ahead, sir. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you so very much. I know you guys have probably always heard you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, I say to you, not only can you not make him drink, but you can't make him thirsty. And therefore, if the horse is not thirsty, he acts like a mule a lot of times. And so if we continue to bite and devour one another, we better take heed that we be not consumed with one another. And you always heard it's easier to catch flies with honey than vinegar. And throughout all of entrepreneurial and innovative pursuits of entrepreneurship, it took participation by people in good faith in order to move forward to receive the benefit of the technology of TVs and automobiles and computers and everything that we're blessed today, the food that's made so quick you don't have to go out and farm it yourself. So I really hope that we all can understand that we can bank on the past to understand how to move forward in the future. But if we get stuck in the past and we continue to bite and devour each other, we're going to have to find people that we can actually move forward to. And so some of us will have to leave this discussion and move on to greener pastures. But I hope we all really, truly, genuinely care enough about each other to be serious about how we can remove the stumbling blocks and the roadblocks and the walls from each other's. In other words, I'll be my brother's keeper, and you be your brother's keeper to live, let live in one love. But talk is cheap. We got to figure out how to act. And that's where we just have a lot of talk going on, but I don't sense a feeling of true compassion and concern and consideration for each other's situation.
And not to interrupt you, sir, I'm going to give you one more minute after I shut up. But that's my point, is I'm trying to ask for solutions to understanding the times in which you live in today. Instead, we start bringing up 3,000 years ago, the European invaders from 500 years ago, and then you ask a question, and you get told, you're not going to challenge me. I'm the judge. I'm the ruler. You know, and how can you have a civilized conversation doing that? Now, 1 minute to you, sir.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gibson. And you know, Joe, as well as anybody does, different people parse information differently, and they receive from different people differently. I might be able to speak to your mom to get a point across to help her grow, but she may not listen to because she has too close of a relationship with you. And that's the way, just like on this show, maybe you and Mandela Khan have a certain relationship that it doesn't allow him to be able to look at the credibility of what you offer and vice versa. So therefore, I'm placing just another perspective on the conversation that hopefully my way of discussing it actually will hit a chord with different people, so they'll come to this conversation in good faith so we can actually come up with some productive means to have everybody share. Because like I was saying, the benefits that we share of today are due to the fact that people in our past, you know, the Wright brothers brought us forth airplanes, and they grew from the cooperation of other entrepreneurs and innovators in order to bring us to where we are today. So we have to figure out how to be able to air our differences in love and consideration, and then bear each other's burdens in helping us understand how we move forward, helping remove those stumbling blocks and those errors. We can't change the past, but let's not get stuck in the past. Thank you for the time, Joe.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that, and I will give you closing thoughts at the end of this podcast. Okay. Anyone else here want to join in the conversation? If not, I'm going to give closing thoughts to everybody. Press the number 1. Does anyone have any conclusion here to understanding the times in which we live in today? Does anyone have something they want to bring up and discuss here real quick before I begin to wrap up the podcast here tonight? Because we have 11 minutes and a few minutes here to go. So let's see here. Let me move down the phone lines. I'm trying to scroll through some numbers here that may not have anything to offer or contribute. Let's see here. All right, what I'm going to do is do some closing thoughts of the podcast here. We got enough time to give everyone 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So, Dr. Leroy, would you like to start first before and move down the line here? Well, I'll go to 765 first. How's that? 765, I'll give you 2 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I think... Oh, sorry.
What
there
I
she
wanted
goes.
to tell you is there was 13 ancient books in 1945 that they found in Egypt from that when that they thought was destroyed when the early Christians were struggling to find out what orthodoxy was. And, oh, my gosh, I haven't read but like a couple of them. And I think if we haven't even read everything God wanted us to know, maybe there's something in those books that, why were they written? And earlier I read from dealings primarily with the feminine defect and spiritual principle, because they kind of took out, like, where's the mother or the sister? Because it was a holy family. And that's what I read earlier. And, yes, you can go to gnosis.org, GNOSIS, and you can read all them books for free. That's if you're interested. Because Gnostic means relating to knowledge, especially esoteric, mystical knowledge. And esoteric means it's intended likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge or interest. Yes, oh my God, books that we wrote a long time ago, our ancestors wrote. Yes, that's what I want you guys to read. There might be an answer in those books. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. I gave you a couple of minutes like I promised. Hopefully you'll show the same respect to the other callers here at the end of the podcast. Dr. Leroy, I know I kind of maybe confused you there because I brought her on. Go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. She's esoteric, which I think she got the definition right. She just got her whole demeanor and spew leading up to it wrong, completely wrong, because esoteric is exactly what she said. It's intended for likely to be understood by only a small number of people with a specialized knowledge of interest. So that would be basically her and whoever believes it, what she believes in, which is a very small number of people. My thing is, you want to improve the times in which we live in today. Make tomorrow better. Start with yourselves. Worry about yourselves. Quit worrying about everybody else's damn business and what they've got going on. I mean, chances are the guy that's bringing home 6 figures a year has done better in life than you. I'm sorry, but that's the way it works. If you don't like it, do better for yourself. Get over it in the meantime. There's no reason why there should be equal income equality, they call it. So I busted my ass for 30 fucking years. Does that mean the same damn thing as Medelicon pushing a broom down the damn high school damn hallway should be making the same as me? Hell no. I'm sorry I used you for a reference, Medelicon. You're out there, so. But I studied, I put in the hard work, therefore I should be making more money than you. That's the way life goes, point blank. If you don't like it, make something better of yourself. Mind your own business, take care of yourself, and quit worrying about what others are doing. They're not directly affecting you. It's no business of yours. If you feel jealous, I'm sorry, that's human nature. He's doing better than you. You're jealous. But just because you're a 5th grade dropout and I went to college doesn't mean we should be equal. I'm sorry. I put in the work. If you don't like it, kiss my ass.
Okay. All right.
I'm
done.
done.
All right, Dr. Leroy, I gave you 2 minutes like I promised. Let's go to 310. We're wrapping up the show. Go ahead. You have a couple minutes here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm glad you took my phone call, Joe. Let's talk about this earlier today when we met eyes and you ran.
Okay. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, Joe, let's be honest. So what was that all about? You talk all that shit that you're tough, and then when someone shows up, and you see the person.
Well,
on
Joe
the street,
ran, but I guarantee you one damn thing. I won't ran. You want me to give you my address?
I don't know what
I live right down the road from him.
Listen, cocksucker.
Well, you don't know what the city is. You don't know what the city is.
Have you not? First of all, shut up.
He don't know what the city is, but he ran.
Hey, dum dum. I'm talking to Joe.
Hey,
Shut your stupid mouth.
Hey, dum-dum, I'll tell you where I live. You want some of this?
You see what happened, Joe?
Are you man enough?
Joe? You're not speaking.
Are you man enough to come out behind the fucking keyboard?
Shut up, you redneck cocksmoker.
Are you man enough to come out behind the keyboard and do something?
Am I talking
because
to you?
I know where Joe was all day today.
I'll beat the shit out of you.
I know where Joe was all day today, and he wasn't meeting you.
Shut up,
Shut up. So before you bring out your dumb, stupid ass,
what's going on with you running on
Joe Gibson's balls, mate. Let me tell you something.
Joe, what's up with you? See how you can't even man up and speak to me about it.
I know damn well he never met you. But I'll tell you what, you damn piece of shit son of a bitch. You want to follow Joe's nutsack around. You follow Joe's nutsack around all around the internet. You follow Joe's nutsack around. But I'm gonna tell you what.
Off, Joe.
If you want to meet a real man,
Joe, do you want to speak or are we not speaking, Joe? I see that you have somebody
and I will show you a real damn man.
Okay, guys. Give him 1 minute to speak. Give him 1 minute to speak to make a jerk out of himself.
He's only here to talk shit to you.
Fuck you and fuck your mother, you cock-smoking redneck.
Exactly. That's exactly where I thought she was going. Because you're a low-life piece of shit that can't do nothing.
Let me mute him. Let me mute him.
He came out here with a lie.
Yes,
you should have noticed that the very first 10 words out of his mouth. He came out here with a lie. I met you eye to eye today. I knew where you were at all day today. And if he thinks for 1 second he's going to sit out there and look at you in the eye and think you're going to run, let him meet a real motherfucking man. The problem was he said, I already know what city you're in. Well, he doesn't even know what city you're in. What the fuck does it matter?
He's calling from 310. Hang on, he's calling from 310. He's obviously a loser. But anyway, let's move on down the board here. Go ahead, private caller. Go ahead. You take 2 minutes, and then MandelaCon. Go ahead, private caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm grateful that we had people in the past like Frederick Douglass and what was the Wilberforce guy's name that helped move things along, in addition to the Wright brothers and other people that helped technology and everything advance, and they learned how to get along with enough people to help us appreciate or at least have the benefit. I don't want to take those things for granted, and I hope that we also can take a look at ourselves and figure out how to do that to move forward and make America actually the best it ever possibly could have been. Now, I do want to share with you, Joe, there was this rancher, kind of farmer guy out by the fence working on his ranch next to his horses and his cows and his chickens and his pigs and stuff, and a politician walked up and put his foot up on the fence, started talking to the farmer, and the flies would just fly all around his head and stuff, and he's swatting at them and trying to swish them away, and he's told the farmer, he said, what's up with these flies? And the farmer says, well, those are circle flies. And he said, circle flies? What do you mean circle flies? And the farmer points over to the back side of his horse and said, see, those are circle flies. And that politician looked at him, looked at the farmer stern in his face and said, hey, you trying to insinuate that I'm a horse's behind? And the farmer said, well, no, sir, I wouldn't do that, but there's no fooling them circle flies. Back to you.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I got to move up the board here because we're doing closing thoughts here. Let's allow MandelaCon here some 2 minutes here. And that caller there from 310, obviously he's just an idiot, a jerk. He prowls around Blog Talk Radio. He's a complete idiot and a fool. But that's what some of these people do. They piecemeal my podcast show, and they have no life. Simple as that. So don't get agitated, people out there, by these crank callers. That's what they are. They're losers. They're scumbags. And he hung up, but we know who he is. But anyway, go ahead, MandelaCon. You're unmuted. 2 minutes.
As Dr. Leroy, during closing comments, who always says that he had to hang up because of my F-bombs or he had to whatever, that last caller, after 3 years...
I said that once, MandelaCon.
That showed the crisis in understanding the times in which we live. The fact of the matter is that Dr. Leroy would always tell you that I dropped F-bombs and he had to go, or he couldn't deal with me, but he interrupted closing comments, and he
From a
started a riot.
person that was spewing absolute bullshit towards Joseph Gibson. Okay? To a person that was telling lies.
I understand you. Look at you, Dr. Leroy. You interrupting on my closing comments. Isn't that extraordinary?
Yeah, I'm sorry you was muted so you couldn't interrupt me.
Isn't that extraordinary that you got the Constitution and you won't allow my closing comments because you're interfering on freedom, justice, and total independence of the
sovereignty. All right, go ahead,
integrity,
Miguel John. Make your point then. Go ahead, make your point. Nobody interrupt him. Give him a minute, please.
Okay. Here's the point. Joe Gibson represents the Confederate flag, a minority oppressor in the founding fathers under the Declaration of Independence and Bill of Rights, white power, all white men. There was no white women at the table. Now, fast forward to the Ethiopian Empire of Class Action 567. The Ethiopian Empire is the matriarch, and the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers control the whole planet because figures don't lie and lies don't figure. It's a mathematical equation. The real minority on the planet is white men. The second minority is black men. The first majority is African women, brown, red, yellow, and white women. They are the majority, and the supermajority is with their children, old folks, and men who will stand with them under the matriarch. So what I'm saying to you under the sign of the times in which we live, Talk Real Solutions, if it's not about adding, multiplying, and we will divide once we get control, ain't no separation under white power or black power. And if it means under race, white power and black power is wrong power because class is over race. So, Dr. Peter Ventura, Dr. Leroy, Dr. Joe Gibson, Dr. John, Dr. Black Jesus Minister, Dr. Tyrone.
All right, Mandela, please wrap it up quickly here, please. I'm going to give you one more minute, please.
Under Dr. Tyrone Pinocchio Thompson of the Red, White, and Blue, the Eagle is attacking the national and international democratic rights based on jurisprudence. Jurisprudence means equal protection under the law, due process, and that we all are giving our constitutional right for sovereignty, integrity, and independence. And you can clearly see the number one contradiction is in social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and YouTube. It's not on MSNBC, FCC, radio, TV, Fox, Annie, and Combs, or BET. Y'all are under kill or be killed. Live and let live and one love comes under the total recall of the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers of the matriarch who are witnessing their families being destroyed right before their eyes.
I know, Mandela, I got to wrap up the podcast.
I love you so much.
All right,
Much love,
thank you very much, everybody.
When you don't have another program, Joe? When you don't have another program?
I will notify you on social media most likely Wednesday night. That's what we're hoping for. We shall see. All right, everybody, good night. Take care. We got to wrap up the podcast.